Good morning and welcome to the At Home with Roby show. I'm Ashley Davis, and along with Trent Haston, President and CEO of the Roby family of companies, we're your hosts. Thanks for spending your Sunday morning with us. Whether you're in the car or on the couch, you're always at home with Roby. Visit us today at andrewroby.com. That's Andrew, R-O-B-Y.com. Trent, coming up today, we've got a special show. Today is National Grandparents' Day. We're talking about retirement communities. We're going to have our good friend Wilson Worley on with us. We're also going to be joined by Matt Young with our Roby Cross division to talk about all the things they're doing in the active adult and senior living construction and renovation. And Trent, we talk a lot on this show about heritage and the heritage of the Andrew Roby Company. It's National Grandparents' Day, so I thought we'd talk a little bit about your grandfather, Glenn Haston. He was one of the original employees of the Andrew Roby Company back in the 1950s.
No, yeah, Ashley, good morning to you, bud. Happy Sunday, but you're right. I meet people, and they all think that I am a Roby check. That's where the name Andrew Roby comes from. I like to tell the story, and for people that don't know, Andrew Roby Check was an immigrant and started a little home renovation company, home building company in 1950. Changed it to Andrew Roby. Little history note, I guess he shortened it to become a little more Americanized to help do business in America. And then I think his first employee was my grandfather, and that was Glenn Haston. Glenn Haston was his working superintendent. And they worked together through the 50s and basically through the 70s. My family bought the business from my granddad, and my dad bought the business from Mr. Roby in the 70s. But I think in the 60s, Andrew realized that his succession plan was going to be with the Haston family and with my granddad, and I think they started working out a deal in the 60s to share some stock or, do some stock programs with my grandfather. I'm very fortunate of that. And also the story goes, talk about heritage. When I was a kid, my granddad would always take me to hear Dr. Francis Roby Check speak. He started the Sanger Clinic, famous heart surgeon, just a staple for Charlotte's history. And he's really old, and everybody thinks that's who started our company, but he is actually the nephew of Andrew Roby. And the first time that Dr. Francis Roby Check, as a very young man, I think in the lower 20s, mid-20s, came to America, he flew into Charlotte Douglas Airport, and Andrew Roby sent my grandfather to go pick him up. My granddad used to always tell me that story. So when I was 8 or 9 or 10, he would invite my granddad to hear him speak on medical things and have a really good dinner. My granddad would always take me. I guess he saw something in me, but I couldn't ever understand what he said because of his Hungarian accent. But
he couldn't understand what you were saying either.
People do not understand what I say, and but my granddad, I enjoy. Those are the memories that I enjoy thinking about with my granddad. One other point about my granddad, in the early 2000s, I was working 70, 80 hours a week. All I wanted to do was work. Reagan was still up at school when I got out of college and didn't have her here. So all I had to do was work. But my granddad was in his early 80s, and he passed away, I think at age 87 in 05. And he loved golfing with his old buddies once a week. And he would always take me, and that was my thing. He took me golfing with his old buddies once a week, and I loved his friends, but I was always so busy. Me and my dad would joke, my dad, ha, you guys are going golfing today? And I was like, man, and I would just come back and work all night. But, I liked doing it, but it was just I had so much work to do, and I'm so grateful for all those times. I'm grateful when I'd hit it in the woods and he'd get mad at me because he wanted me to do well for his buddies, and he always wanted me to hit the ball real well, and I thought I was a strapping young man because he was proud of me, and I think I let him down some, but man, we had some good times.
Well, when you hit it in the woods, you just go over there, you give it the old foot wedge.
Well, he hit a lot of balls in the woods too, but he was in his 80s. I was 25. 23.
Man, I hope I'm still playing golf when I'm in my 80s.
So,
I'd like to shoot my age one day. That's my goal. I'm getting closer and closer.
In about 100 years, I'll be there.
Oh, man. So you've talked on the show before about your grandparents, and it's not just your grandfather, Glenn, but your grandmother, too. I know you shared a lot of really good times with her when you were younger.
Yeah, no, the story goes back in the 70s and 80s. She would make lunch every day for the company, and they'd go by my granddad's house. That's where he had his office, and everybody'd eat lunch, and it was some old macaroni and cheese and biscuits. Gravy was probably involved 4 days a week.
Red eye gravy.
Yeah, I mean, I think salt was a key ingredient in my grandmother's cooking, but they all lived a long life, and it was good memories. I try to keep that in our business as we grow, and that's my goal.
Yeah, well, it's nice to maintain that heritage and to have everybody that's working today understand where you guys came from Mr. Robichek to your grandfather to your father, now you and Travis.
Yeah, I don't know. A couple weeks ago, I went out of town with some fellas, and he was telling me about his dad. He said he had a dream. Was an older guy now, and he had a dream about his dad, and he said he woke up. He said that the dream was vivid, and he woke up and he smelt the aftershave that his dad used to wear. And I told him, I said, I've had 2 dreams like that since my dad's passed away. And I said, I hope that continues. I hope that never gets old. I hope that always stays vibrant in my memory because this is what makes us keep going.
You're exactly right. You keep telling stories, you never forget.
Yep.
All right, Trent, another great start to the show. It's Sunday morning. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Matt Young. We're going to talk about our Roby Cross division, senior living, active adult living. Happy Grandparents' Day to everybody out there that's listening. Stay with us. You're listening to the At Home with Roby show. Visit us today at andrewroby.com. That's Andrew, ROBY.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back.